The silences. Greetings, Wonder. This is Atlas here, and welcome to The Void. Today I'm going to be reacting and breaking down a song called Ebrietas, Daughter of the Cosmos, from the Bloodborne original soundtrack. And I gotta say, just by the name of it, I mean, the name of the song is already pretty badass. Daughter of the Cosmos. This is the last coffee personal request that I had for this month, which is from Anthony May. And the comment says, "Hello, please react to Ebrietas' Daughter of the Cosmos from Bloodborne. I feel like it is a wonderful example of storytelling through music." Okay, so thank you very much, Anthony, for your request, and of course, your fantastic Beyond the Call of Duty support. So I'm glad that I'm coming back once again to the Bloodborne original soundtrack. I believe that the last breakdown that I did was for Gascoigne, the Hunter. And in case you want to check that out, I'm gonna be leaving that in this card right here. Okay, I've done like 2 or 3 Bloodborne breakdowns before this one. So I'm gonna leave Gascoigne in the card, but also I'm gonna leave Gascoigne and the rest of them in the description of this video. So, onward. Ebrietas, Daughter of the Cosmos. Boom. Quite tamed, but very foreboding choirs. Really cool spiccatos in the string section. The brass, mate. Oof. Wow, that choir was so dark. The silences. Whoa. Wow. I got goosebumps out of that last part. Okay, this song was really, really good. There were a couple of sections, of course, that I liked the most, which I'm going to be talking more in depth in the breakdown. But overall, you know, what's crazy is that often what I like the most in this sort of orchestral, well, not sort of, it's an orchestral track, is the brass section, you know, and very especially in this kind of games like Dark Souls and Bloodborne. They make a heavy use of brass because, well, I've said this before, the meanness is in the brass. But in this case, the brass is not so much taking that role. I mean, it's doing that, but as a supporting role. But we're going to be talking more in depth about those things in the breakdown. Okay, so let's just break it down. Okay, so let's start breaking the song by placing the context of it a little bit, okay? Now, of course, I haven't played the game, so I don't know like the literal, specific context of the song. I suppose this is a boss battle or something, because when they always have like the name of someone is probably a boss battle. But okay, let's talk about the context of the song, okay? The song is called Ebrietas, Daughter of the Cosmos, right? Now, there's a very specific word in the title of the track which brings a lot of what the storytelling of the track is, like Anthony very much said, which is cosmos, okay? The word cosmos is... you know, it's something very big to grasp, right? We are talking about cosmos in the sense of the universe, the you know, planets, stars, galaxies, and so on and so forth, right? And the cosmos, the universe, all the things that are in outer space are quintessentially very, very mysterious. They have an incredible mystery. There's an insane mystery out there. That's what I'm trying to say. So of course the cosmos is something that we don't completely understand. We are far from understanding it. Even though we seem to have like a good grasp on the basic things, there's a lot of that we don't know. A lot. So the concept of the cosmos in the track is translated in as follows. I think that the string section in the track is actually transmitting or translating that premise of not understanding of the knowledge, the lack of knowledge, but knowledge nonetheless in the string section of the track. Because the strings, I've talked about this in previous videos in which I said that the string section is, you know, the more sophisticated, certainly more sophisticated, more elegant part of an orchestra, while the brass is like the meanness of the whole thing, right? It's more dirty, if you want to call it that way. Although some people might be upset about that, but I guess what I'm trying to say is that the brass is something somewhat opposite to what the string section is, okay? But they both create a balance in an orchestra, okay? So the strings are about that knowledge, the knowledge part of the cosmos. And of course, knowledge and logic could be perceived as cold, but also as something stoic, elegant, precise. The strings are kind of describing that part, but we need a balance in it, right? And the other part of the cosmos is the magnitude, okay? The volume of it. The cosmos is insanely big, unimaginably big, and it's even bigger than that, because you know, what we know of the universe is the things that we can observe. So there's things that we don't know that are out there that we can't see. So we're talking about already a massive amount of space that we know that is insanely massive, unthinkably massive, and yet still there's still things far beyond that that we don't know anything about. So that's where the brass comes in, to wade into the concept of the cosmos and create the balance in between what we as humans perceive of the cosmos, you know. Yes, we know something about the cosmos. Ebrietas, daughter of the cosmos. Okay, we know that Ebrietas is the daughter of the cosmos. That's kind of a giveaway of the certain knowledge, you know, that the character in the game might have about her, and or in the lore, specifically in the lore of the game about her. Maybe there's stories about her in the lore, or maybe the you know, the character that you play in the game gets acquainted or starts to know about the story of this character, of this legendary character somehow. So I think it is very important to kind of point out that word, you know, cosmos. It's a very important word in the sense of the storytelling of the song. But also, like Anthony pointed out, the storytelling of that word specifically, and of course of the character itself of Ebrietas, kind of translates in that way in the strings and the brass. Now, the reason I said I thought this was a boss battle theme, it's because the track has like a very imposing posturing sound, you know, very much specifically at the later part of the track, like half of it, like the other half, like the last half of it. Very imposing, very a posturing sound, in the sense that, you know, just read the title, you know, it's Ebrietas, daughter of the cosmos. Like, it's like, mate, like, what are you doing here? I am the daughter of the cosmos. Like, how much more imposing and posturing can that be, you know? If you think about it. But other than just the title, I suppose that you know, if this is a boss battle indeed, there will be signs maybe of the boss, you know, kind of flexing its grandeur or something like that, you know, in some kind of way, you know. It could be in the character design, it could be as a gesture while you're fighting the boss or whatever, but certainly the imposing posturing sound is absolutely there. Now I would like to talk about something that I think I haven't talked about in any track before, which is building contrast by doing less. I don't think I can't recall if I've talked about this before. I mean, I've talked about building tension and releasing tension in tracks, in songs, in compositions, but I don't think I have done this with contrast. I mean, building more tension with contrast. So I think the best way I can exemplify this is by showing you the part where this happens, and then I'm going to elaborate upon that. Okay, so as you can hear, the song, you know, in the first half has this section that starts building up, and you can hear this sort of incremental additive, you know, a sort of composition technique, or yeah, let's call it that. Let's call it that. Adding layers, you know, to the track, progressively to build the song up and build it up and build it up. Of course, that starts to create tension because the listener is, you're leading the listener through a path that where the listener is going to be expecting something to happen, because the more instruments are involved, the higher the energy the track has, and of course the listener tends to think like, well, it seems like the stakes are going higher and higher and higher. That creates a higher sense of expectation, and of course that creates more tension in the listener. But in this track, which in my opinion was the most brilliant arrangement that there is in the track, is building more tension with less. So in that part, as you can hear, you hear this build up, and then the song tames down completely. Like it's probably the most tamed the song is throughout the length of the song, but at the same time is the place that builds the most tension, apologies. And why is that? Well, do you remember what I said about the why I thought the brass was not the instrument that was creating the most meanness in the song? Well, this is why. Because in my opinion, the darkest part in the song is that part when you hear the cello playing the spiccato, and the very tame, you know, almost like a ghostly figure in the back, you know, with the brass being that as a supporting role. I mean, that part was insanely dark and built so much of the tension. It's probably the part that has, in my opinion, the most tension of it all, or among them, because quite honestly, the second part of the song actually has a lot of energy, and energy builds as a tension in a track by itself without needing a build-up or something like that. Not always, because sometimes you can release tension by doing bursts of energy, okay, in a track. But in this case, you know, that very specific part being so tamed, I'm coming from this fake build-up. It was just brilliant. I mean, I think that was the best arrangement in the track so far. Now, to finalize my commentary about the song, I would like to talk about where is the darkness in the song, right? So, I mean, I think it's quite as a very obvious thing in terms of well, the video game and so on and so forth, right? But I mean, the darkness in this track comes heavily from not only from the section that I just talked about, which to me is the darker section of the track, but also, you know, the meanness and the darkness of the song comes in the choirs quite a lot, you know. And not to talk about specific elements or instruments only in the song, I think that, you know, this this track is very dark because when you venture into minor keys, making heavy use of minor chords, I think this track even has like diminished arrangements in it. I'm not entirely sure, but I think it does. And when you start to delve into the minor realm, let's say, just start playing with diminished chords or diminished arpeggios, you know, harmonic minor, Phrygian mode. What's the other thing? Even doing whole tone scales, augmented arpeggios, augmented chords, those sort of things are you are on another level of darkness, okay? So even though I think the cello part, that is the super tame part, is the darkest one, I think that overall the darkness is more clearly perceived, I would say, from the listener in the choirs, because the choirs are incredibly powerful, super lush. You know, they are a wall of sound basically, and they overtake, for the most part, when they are present, they overtake the track completely. So that's why I said that the meanness was not so much in the brass in this particular case, in this particular song, but in the string section and the choirs. Now, the choirs are in the later part of the song are so massive and so big that I think that the song is basically like at 100%, you know, like at 100% energy, let's say. So there's not a lot of building and releasing the tension, except for the last part, which it's very important, which is the silences that we hear at the last part of the song. Now I've talked about the silences multiple times in my videos, but I think that in this particular case, you know, the silences were the thing the song needed at that last part, because like I said before, the choirs are taking so much space in the track that there's not a lot of paths to create dynamics in the song, in terms of tension, in terms of intensity of the notes, and so on and so forth. So there's not a lot of paths that you can take there, because everything is filled, you know what I mean? But then the composer decided to add the silences. It was like, okay, I can't create more space because I filled it up with the choirs and everything. All the other instruments are backing the choirs, but I can't create the space with the silences. So that's what he did at the end of the track. He created the tension, the releasing and the building of the tension at the end of the song by placing those couple, or yeah, I think it was like a couple of silences at the end of the song, which was insane. Okay, so yeah, I think this song was fantastic, and I think I'm gonna give this track a very, very high golden badge. It's almost a diamond badge, and it's, I think it's really close, because you know, that part, I'm telling you, that part that I think it was the darkest part with the spiccato and the cello was like way too good. And the silences at the end were an incredible touch. Like, it was amazing. So thank you very much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like and share it with your friend. Also, please don't forget to visit my Patreon in case you want to sway the vote towards what I'm going to be breaking down next. Also, visit my Ko-fi profile in case you want to make a one-time contribution to the channel, or my Ko-fi store in case you want to have a personal request, which is one of this. And I opened 4 spots at the first of each month at 1 PM EST, okay? And my Teespring shop in case you want to purchase merch and all that jazz. And of course, ex nihilo nihil fit.